right now at Jack in the Box. Try Jack's Spicy Chicken Club Combo for just $4.99 plus tax. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Turner Field. That is Alex Wood, the young left-hander, who's going to start against the Athletics tonight. So we are just moments away from first pitch. Game time weather for tonight is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Nice night, 84 degrees, not a whole lot of humidity. Could be a lot worse, that's for sure. In fact, we had pretty good weather in Kansas City, and the same thing can be said here in Atlanta. Let's look at the starting lineup tonight for your Oakland A's. Starts with Coco Crisp in center, Johnny Gomes in left. Josh Donaldson's at third. Derek Norris is going to be the cleanup hitter. Then Freeman at first. Callaspo at second. Reddick, Perino, and Hamill are the bottom three.
And the youngster was born in North Carolina, Charlotte. So how great it's for him to be drafted by the Braves. Playing for the Braves, came up last year, but in the rotation now as he will be making his 17th start in the rotation. As Captain said earlier, not really that much overpowering, but he will throw an assortment of pitches, a couple of different fastballs, curveball, and changeup. And with the exception of Johnny Gomes, he hasn't seen any of these guys. So they haven't seen him. He hasn't seen the A's.
And you saw the numbers with more strikeouts than innings pitched, which is always something to watch for, as Wood, the left-hander, is ready to go, and so is Coco Crisp. So we are underway from Turner Field, and the first pitch is a fastball right down the middle for a strike. Coco hitting .259 with 7 home runs, 36 RBIs. Struggling as of late. He was 1 for 12 in that series in Kansas City. So the A's need to get Coco going.
Well, this center field camera we have here is outstanding because it is right over the mound, right to the plate, no angles. So what you see is exactly what the pitch is, where it's located.
Scooped up by the third baseman, Chris Johnson, and this ball game is underway with a ground out. Let's take a look at the defense for the Atlanta Braves. The Upton brothers are in the outfield. Justin in left, BJ in center. Jason Hayward is in right. Chris Johnson, Phil Gosselin, Tommy LaStella, and Freddie Freeman are your infielders, with Evan Gattis doing the catching.
And if you want a bodyguard, go see Mr. Gattis.
He's a big fella.
I mean, I don't know if this new rules about plays at the plate, I don't know. Maybe it helps the runners with him because he is big. Nice young man, can hit, can catch, can do it all.
First pitch to Johnny Gomes. Bit outside.
Yeah, kept looking at Coco Crisp, and like you said, everybody said Coco need to get him going. The fact that he's playing a little bit more consistently perhaps is going to help him, because he'd been missing some time, then playing, missing more time, and when that happens, you can't get your time and you can't get your swing down. And he's a little bit of an offer, but it's going to start coming around as long as he is in the lineup. And here he has to be in the outfield. He can't DH because no DH this weekend.
So 2-1 to Johnny Gomes.
Coco trimmed the back of his head. Got a little bit of that back part of his hair, so he's changed it up a little bit as well.
So now 3-1 to Gomes. Bob Melvin and the A's, their final series in a National League park this year. They will play the Phillies at home in September. And now 3-2 to Johnny Gomes.
I think what you're seeing in Alex Wood and his delivery out of the windup. Watch him out. This you're just going to see the fastball location wise, and Lance Diaz, the home plate umpire, making the call, but he takes it back about as far as anybody has ever done, right there.
Missed inside, and it's a base runner for the A's.
Good patience by Johnny Gomes.
Laz Diaz is the home plate umpire tonight. Alfonso Marquez at first, crew chief Ted Barrett at second, and Paul Schreiber is down at third. So Gomes aboard for Donaldson. Donaldson had a nice series in Kansas City, 5 for 14, a couple of home runs. Knocked in 4, scored 3.
And I would have to think that Mickey Morbido, probably one of the best director of team travels in the game, was busy and it will be busy this weekend with a number of players. Donaldson, Moss, Reddick, a number of players who've been in the area, from the area, and we'll have a lot of people here for the weekend.
Yeah,
Cedric Gray, of course, yeah.
Here's some small pockets of A's fans, and it'll be more than likely family members.
Well, Josh Reddick told me he has some family, or some friends anyway, in left field. He left X number of tickets for a family. The rest, a lot of people bought tickets to come in to watch him this weekend.
Well, the A's have been here to Atlanta a couple times. Last time was 2008, so occasionally they're in this area, and now 3-1.
So Brian McCann make his debut here, 2008, with John Smoltz, who probably will be inducted into Cooperstown next year, Hall of Fame.
So 3-1 to Donaldson, with Norris waiting in the on-deck circle. One pitch outside, and the A's have something going here in the first. Couple of walks. A little bit more on Alex Wood. He started this season in the A's rotation. He made 7 starts to begin the year, and then he went to the bullpen for 11 relief appearances. And then Gavin Floyd, remember the Braves signed Gavin Floyd, and Floyd went on the disabled list. He's out for the year, so Wood went back into the rotation. And that is where he has been. It's midway through June, and I imagine he'll stay there the rest of the year. He's a pretty talented young man. He was drafted in 2012, Ray, and he's in the big leagues already, so that's not a lot of minor league time.
Yeah, actually came up last year towards the end of the season, so he is... I tell you, pitching, they don't necessarily. One time it used to be 500 innings pitched at the minor league level before you came to the big leagues. Not anymore. If you have a good arm, you pitch well, you're going to be here.
Pick off, and he's safe. It's like the second baseman, La Stella, got caught underneath Gomes, and they're going to come out and look at him.
You know, he might have been calling for Freddie Gonzalez to come and review the play in addition to being hurt, because maybe he thought he got the runner at second. And Johnny, let's see. Well, that play, you're not going to see it, but he did flip him. And Johnny, a big lead, and the throw right in to the runner. Yeah, I think it was come out. I've got the ball. Come on out. And then I'm hurt also.
Now they're checking.
Yeah. Carlos Tosca.
And they are going to look at it.
Well, the fact that the throw went right into the runner, I think that was the key. And
well, again, I think it's fair at least to say at this point, Ray, when it's the first inning, and there's a challenge, the Braves must have seen something.
Well, the big lead, and look at the throw right into Johnny Gomes. And is it conclusive? He's called safe. And of course, that is always the key. Yesterday we saw, of course, different yesterday in Kansas City, as we get a different look here with Johnny going back.
I think he's out, Ray.
Well, it got him in the chest, and they're showing it on the big screen in center field. Mostella is the one who took the throw. It's always interesting to see the umpires on the field looking at diamond vision, and they control nothing. And it's almost like they should turn their back and not even be looking at it, but they are. There's Alfonso Marquez, Ted Barrett. Ted Barrett was the one at second who made the call. He might be more interested than anybody.
See what we got here.
Yeah, here's one. To see where he tags him is the hand. Well, that one, it looks like he tagged him in the chest. The hand reaching the bag around the same time. So inconclusive, conclusive. I think that's, we'll see if that factors in. Well, it's a big play for both teams.
Sure it is.
And the Braves would be the second out. For the A's, first and second, and a loss of replay.
He's out. And Johnny Gomes may have knew it as he heads back to the dugout. So an early mistake on the base pass by Johnny Gomes, picked off at second base with one out. So now 2 outs, runner at first, and the count is 0-1 to Norris. Woods fastball, pretty good movement.
Now with a great center field camera, get a chance to see the movement from the left-hander with the ball running away from the right-hander, and that's going to be the key for the right-handed hitters. And of course, Adam Roden has shown the A's hitters the movement on his fastball, and we're seeing it firsthand from center field.
2-1 the count. Something else to keep an eye on tonight with Alex Wood. His last start, he was terrific. He struck out 12 in 7 1/3 innings. But he also threw 124 pitches. Inside corner strike. So you combine that start with the 2 before that, and he's got extremely strong numbers as of late. Now that 12 strikeout performance was on Sunday against the first place Nationals.
Well, it looks like Johnny Gomes and now Derek Norris both recognizing the breaking pitch. Donaldson just got high fastballs that he took to walk him. Gomes, fastballs running away and curveballs, but instead of being at second, he is now back in the dugout.
So Donaldson runs, and the pitch is bounced in the hole and into left field, a base hit. Goslin dove for it, could not come up with it. So Norris has a base hit. Maybe that'll get Derek Norris going. That breaks an 0 for 15 stretch.
It was so bad yesterday. He asked me if I had any old hits I was willing to give up to him. I said, no, you'll get your own. And fortunately, he gets this one. And, you know, you go hitless, you start looking for ways to try to get a hit. That time he took the count 3-2, and instead of maybe driving in a run. So the A's trying to do it again with 2 outs, but 2 runners on.
Here's Freeman. Nate hitting in the 5th spot tonight. Freeman on the season, 8 hits in 40 at bats. He's got 4 doubles. He's got a homer and 7 RBIs.
Maybe he could do what he did in Miami.
That's right.
Fastball in, 3-run bomb.
Just thinking the same thing. 0-1 pitch is tapped back to the mound. Picked up by Wood. Underhands to first, side retired. So the A's strand a pair as we're headed to the bottom of the 1st in Atlanta. No score. In store for Jason Hamill tonight. Some big names in the lineup: Hayward, Goslin, Freeman, Upton, Johnson, Gaddis, Listella, B.J. Upton, and then the pitcher Alex Wood.
Jason Hamill would like to continue to pitch in this third start like he has in his two previous starts in this month of August. They have been very good. One against Tampa Bay, the other against Minnesota. 1-3 career against the Atlanta Braves. So the tall right-hander will try to keep the curveball down, as we showed in our open. There are highlights from his last two games, and of course the good fastball. And remember, this is a big yard, a lot of area in the outfield, so fly ball pitcher can pitch well here.
Defensively for the Athletics, Gomes, Crisp, Reddick. The outfield, Donaldson, Perino, Cayaspo, Freeman on the infield, with Norris doing the catching.
The biggest leadoff hitter in the history of the game is.
I think you're right. He is a big fella. Jason Hayward, 6'5", 245 pounds. That's a full man right there.
Maybe
folks.
Not your prototypical leadoff hitter, huh? I think I read that last year they had a 14-game winning streak by the time he was inserted into the starting leadoff spot, and kind of put him back because the Braves need to get going to try to catch the Nationals.
So the days of Otis Nixon are long gone. I think.
That's right.
It's my first.
That's right.
My first Braves history comment. Otis Nixon. 1-2 to Hayward. Phil Goslin to follow. Good curveball from Hamill, but laid off. Hayward 269 with 9 home runs and 45 RBIs.
Didn't Otis try to bunt one time to end the World Series and didn't work? Mickey Rivers.
If you're going to do it, it better work.
That's right.
Especially in a World Series.
Yeah.
Full count to Hayward. Outfield straight away. And hits it on the ground right to Cayaspo, who scoops it up. And that's out number 1.
Time now for the Nissan keys of the game. Shake off Kansas City, definitely, and it's interleague time once again for the Athletics on the road in interleague play, and for Jason Hamill finding his groove with a question mark. And let's hope you can put an exclamation point there instead of the question mark, because I think he wants to excel as well as anybody.
Well, the A's, again, a good interleague season so far. They are 10-2. Only 2 losses. Remember, they lost to the Mets in one of the 4 games to the Giants. So 10-2 overall with this series, and then the Phillies series coming up in September. Goslin grounds out, so a couple of ground ball outs for Jason Hamill. It seems like the A's always do pretty darn well in interleague play, and no different this year.
You know, I know people over the years have asked why, and I think we kind of both agree that pitching is important, especially if you're facing a team that you haven't seen before. You're facing hitters, and if you have pretty good pitching, it may take a couple, 2 or 3 games before you get acclimated to their styles of pitching, and all of a sudden you're finished.
So here is Freddie Freeman, the toughest out in this Braves lineup, hitting .294, 16 home runs, 64 RBIs. And he hits one high down the left field line, foul. Freeman is a very, very good player. He got kind of an interesting swing where he really has an uppercut, but it works. Been an all-star a couple of times. He's got 34 doubles, 4 triples, and 16 home runs.
And the Braves have not been afraid to extend contracts for some of the young players, well beyond the arbitration years and free agency. And look at Hayward and Freeman, a couple of youngsters that they want to keep locked up for a while.
This one hit high in the air toward Donaldson. Donaldson, he's got it, and it's a 10-pitch inning for Jason Hamill. 3 up, 3 down, no score from Atlanta after 1. brought to you by Evergood Sausage Company. Get grilling. Let's take a little history lesson about the old ballpark here in Atlanta, which was Fulton County Stadium, which is now the parking lot for Turner Field. just past the left field side of this ballpark, Turner Field. Callaspo, Reddick, and Perino here in the second inning. This ballpark, Turner Field, opened in 1997. Remember, in 1996, this was the Olympic Stadium. Gosselin scoops it up, and that's the first out. And they, after the Olympics were over, and then they moved things around a little bit, and it became the home of the Atlanta Braves. Ray talked about the power alleys. It is a big outfield, 380 to left field, 390 to right field.
Now you talk about symmetrical, and we saw it in Kansas City, and Ed Yost, as we mentioned, said the largest per square foot in the American League. I think we just are seeing one in the National League that's quite similar. There it is, 457 from home plate right there. You just saw it.
Nice ballpark, though. 18th year is the home of the Braves after the 30 years at Fulton County Stadium. It's hard to believe that in just its 18th year that the Braves are getting a new stadium. They're going to move for the 2017 season. So this year and then 2 more years here at Turner Field, and they will move into a new ballpark.
Well, you saw the numbers for Fulton County, 66 to 96. Yeah. So that's 30, and then 20 for this one, or 18.
Looks okay to me.
Funny you should say that.
Looks okay to me.
Yeah, it looks almost brand new, huh? Remember when Tim Hudson, we saw him in 08 when we were here, and he talked about this huge jumbo screen in center field. He said to look up and see myself, it scared me. It's so big.
And it's the same one.
And there is a lot of information on that board. That is straightaway center field. Another 3-2 count for Alex Wood.
It's jammed. The Braves will move to Cobb County, which is a northwest suburb of Atlanta, for that 2017 season. They have broke ground on the new stadium. Controversial, but shovels are in the ground.
That's right. Still going to be called the Atlanta Braves, I understand.
So the count remains 3-2 to Reddick, 260 with 8 home runs, 35 RBIs.
Must be something about the revenue in the different counties, though. I wonder if that's going to be affected.
I think it is. I think it is. The 2-pitch foul back again. I tell you, there's some pretty awesome baseball moments, though, at Fulton County Stadium.
Oh, absolutely.
Braves, terrific teams. The Hank Aaron years. Another 3-2 and another foul ball. So good battle here between Wood and Reddick. That's Frank Wren, the general manager of the Atlanta Braves. His team is battling for a postseason berth, but struggling.
You know, when they show the executive vice president, general manager, they should put in parentheses architect.
That's right.
Because they're pretty much the architects of the ball clubs, and they put them together and hope they can have success on the field when they do put together a team.
This one's popped up to shallow left field. That's Chris Johnson, who's the third baseman. The shift was on, so he was playing at that shortstop spot. But he had time to get back there and make the catch. So that'll bring up Andy Perino back into big leagues. Jed Lowry was placed on the 15-day disabled list after the game yesterday with that broken index finger. So Perino up. Perino's been with the A's a couple times this year. This is his third stint at the big league level.
Had a great game in Seattle for the break when he was with the club. But the old thing, when you have options and you're an important member of a ball club, you can go back and forth as many times throughout the season, and Perino's kind of done that so far this year. Seen Jared Blevins in the past, Evan Scribner.
Perino 3 for 12 with a couple of doubles at the big league level. Bob Melvin said before the game, he said Perino's, the A's have liked all year how he's been swinging the bat right-handed down in the minor leagues.
Well, the way Eric Sogard has been swinging, and Bob Melvin knows that Sogi's been playing very well at short and or second, plus swinging the bat well. So I'm sure we'll see a platoon with Sogard in the mix, Guy Espo and Perino.
Good breaking ball, 2-2. Hamill, the pitcher, in the on-deck circle. Good breaking ball, rolled just fouled to third.
Well, the A's back in the National League, of course. The eighth place hitter, always important, especially with 2 outs for the pitcher. In this case, Wood, to try to get the out, have Hamill leading off next inning. And the A's would like to see Hamill hit in this inning. Hamill likes his hitting. Remember, he had a 3-game hitting streak going into San Francisco. Had to deal with Matt Cain, though.
.42 pitches already for Alex Wood, so he's thrown a lot in the early going. Slider just missed, full count.
5th 3-ball count, another 3-2, 11 pitches to Reddick by himself, and now Perino 3-2. This is the 8th pitch to him.
Hit high and foul into the seats. We've seen some pretty good at-bats tonight against Alex Wood. Hit hard, but right to the shortstop, Goslin. Flips it across side, retired. 3 up, 3 down inning for the lefty Alex Wood. Bottom of the second coming up. Rob Manfred is the new commissioner of Major League Baseball. That was announced yesterday. He's currently the chief operating officer for Major League Baseball, and he began with baseball in 1987. He's a lawyer, and that is the new commissioner of Major League Baseball, Rob Manfred. So congratulations to Mr. Manfred. He was Bud's right-hand man for many, many years. And Bud Selig will step down after 22 years as the commissioner of baseball.
Well, you can say labor peace for 20 years. That's great.
Boy, don't you think that so many different things go on in baseball and in all sports, but labor peace to me is the most important thing.
Absolutely. No, you want to. 94 is one everybody wants to forget.
Gomes hustling back. Justin Upton homers his 22nd of the year. And the Braves take a 1-0 lead.
Well, another fastball supposed to be inside. And if a hitter hits it that hard, it did not get where it's supposed to be. Derek Norris inside, the pitch, hitting zone. And remember yesterday, Justin Upton had to come out of the game because of a hamstring injury. Ernie Gonzalez said a day or two, how about tonight he's back? And that's an A's fan that caught the ball, throw it back. But he is back, taken out of the game and back in the lineup tonight, and see why the Braves want him in the lineup.
There's a shot to Callaspo off the bat of Chris Johnson, and Johnson is retired. So one away here in the bottom of the second. So we also should let everybody know that on Tuesday, when the A's get back home at the Coliseum, Commissioner Selig will be at the Coliseum, and he's going to join us on our telecast for an inning. So we'll talk to the outgoing Commissioner of Baseball. As Bud's making his rounds, trying to get to every ballpark.
Why not? Does every park, every team have to do what they've done for Mariano Rivera and Dirk Jeter on his final tour?
I don't know.
Nah, probably not. I don't think he'd want a gift.
Nope. I think he just wants to. That one's belted to center. And Gaddis has homered big time, and it's 2-0. Well, you said he was big and strong, right?
Yes.
He just showed it. No batting gloves. He's got kind of a short stroke, but he is strong.
Watch the quickness of this swing. Another fastball. Another hittable fastball. And 2-0 deficit for the A's. This ball crushed to left center. Wow. That even sounded like a home run.
So here's Tommy La Stella. 41-18 when hitting a home run. They've hit 2 in this inning. Upton and Gaddis. So quick 0-2 to the young second baseman Tommy La Stella. Callaspo handles that one on one hop. Another hard hit ball. It was a breaking ball that hung up there a little bit, but La Stella is retired for the second out.
Well, this is not a good pattern. Home run 4-3, home run 4-3.
Can't keep doing that.
No.
So 2 outs for B.J. Upton.
Hamill, since joining the Athletics, now has given up 8 home runs, with the exception of at Texas and versus the Tampa Bay Rays. He has not given up a home run.
Home runs have been a bit of an issue.
Yeah.
Really all year for him, and especially with the Athletics. And Upton swings and misses. 7 home runs now make it 8 home runs allowed by Hamill. And this is his 7th start with the Athletics.
Well, those fastballs are very hittable pitches. I mean, there's no movement, 4-seam, and really, they're exactly what hitters are hoping to get. And both Upton, the J. Upton, and Gaddis didn't miss them.
And that one is lined, and it's just foul. Very close. Paul Schreiber, the third base umpire, put his arms up.
Hanging curveball, and B.J. Upton, fortunately, right there, started the hook just enough to go foul, barely.
Norris will chat with his pitcher.
Oh, that's right. They do that here, don't they?
They've been doing that a long time. Over 20 years.
Yeah.
Fastball high, 2-2. Upton hitting .209 with 9 home runs, 30 RBIs. Swing and a miss, struck him out. So Upton, who strikes out at an alarming rate, strikes out in his first at bat tonight. Couple of home runs, one by Justin Upton, one by Evan Gaddis. 2-0 Braves. Oakland Raiders season and single game tickets on sale now. Call 1-800-RAIDERS or visit Raiders.com today. 2-0 the Braves lead the Athletics, top of the third inning from Atlanta. Raiders are playing tonight at the Coliseum against the Detroit Lions in their second exhibition game.
You know who's the happiest man other than the Raiders fans?
Who?
Clay Wood. Because he has 4 days to get the field ready for baseball after tonight.
That ain't bad. Yeah. He can handle that.
Tuesday at the Coliseum for baseball as the A's welcome in the Mets for a couple of games, off day. And then the Angels from Anaheim will be in 1 week from this weekend. They're the 2 home run hitters, and neither one of the 2 home runs, I don't think you could label them cheap. They were crushed.
So the pitcher, Jason Hamill, to lead it off. The Angels and the Rangers are just underway. That game being played in Arlington. Garrett Richards for the Angels, Nick Martinez for the Rangers. So that's the first of a 3-game series that we obviously will keep a very close eye on.
Seems like the numbers I saw, the Rangers were 2-9 against the Angels in the previous 11 games.
Yeah, you are absolutely correct, sir.
So if the A's are looking for help. They might not get it from the Rangers unless all that changes.
Upton grabs it.
RBI Baseball is back with all 30 MLB teams and 2014 players. Get the retro 2-button style baseball game you've been missing. Visit RBIGame.com for more details and download today on your console or mobile device.
Top of the order, Coco Crisp steps in. Coco grounded out to third to start the ball game. First pitch on the outside corner for a strike. That game tonight for the Angels starts a 10-game road trip. They will go from Arlington to Boston, and then, as Ray mentioned, from Boston to Oakland next weekend. Another bouncer. Johnson has it. He was playing in, and that's 2 outs. So the A's lead is down to 2. So in the 4-game stretch from Monday to Wednesday, or I'm sorry, Monday to Thursday, the A's lost 3 out of 4. And remember, the Angels had Monday off, Thursday off, and they won Tuesday and Wednesday. So that's how they picked up the 2 games in the standings, and now just 2 back. So we'll keep a close eye on that ball game. Angels and the Rangers will play 9 more games this year, including tonight. So that series this weekend, and then 2 more series in September. The Mariners and the Tigers are playing a big series in Detroit. Those 2 teams fighting for the second wild card, and of course Detroit battling with Kansas City. And Mariners have a 4-1 lead in the 4th inning. Cano has homered.
Big sweeping curveball. Gattis sets up on the inside, but enough of a break to catch the middle to the outside part of the plate. Another one.
So 2-2 the count. Gomes walked in the 1st inning. He's not missing by much. No. That's a good slider. So full count. And the pitch is low, and Gomes walks for the 2nd time.
You know, the one thing that helped Johnny Gomes in the at-bat, taking it 3-2 and then getting a low fastball, but he took some breaking pitches that were close, didn't swing, and Wood did not get the calls. 3 walks for the young man, but still only 1 hit that he's given up. A lot of pitches.
First pitch to Donaldson, and way outside. Donaldson walked in the 1st inning. 3 walks, no strikeouts for Wood. And that one's hit very high in the air, but it's playable for Justin Upton in left field. He's got it side retired. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It'll be Wood, Hayward, Goslin, 2-0 Atlanta. interleague records this year. The best record goes to the Athletics. Also the Royals and the Marlins on the list. The bottom 3 worst records: Astros, Phillies, and Braves. Bottom of the 3rd, the Braves with a couple of home runs in the 2nd inning. They lead 2-0. This is the pitcher Alex Wood, who takes outside. Wood is 2 for 25 on the year.
Anytime you see a left-handed pitcher batting right-handed, that's what you need to do. Put some protection on the elbow, and that's what Wood is doing. At least protecting the arm that makes the money for him.
I can't blame him for doing that.
Absolutely. And sometimes you see guys who bat one way and throw the other, and they don't have the protection. But I think if I were a left-handed pitcher, I'd learn to bat left-handed just to protect the whole left side of the body. But at least he does have the protection on the elbow.
Hayward to follow, then Goslin here in the bottom of the 3rd. Slices that one down the right field line into the seats. Braves come in with a 61-60 record. Yeah, they have really been struggling. They have lost 12 out of their last 15. And they're 6 back of the Washington Nationals in the National League East. And a good slider, snaps in there, strike 3 called, 2nd strikeout for him. They're closer in the wild card. You see the Cardinals and the Pirates right now with the 2 wild card spots. Giants a half game behind the Pirates. Braves 3 back. So they got a shot there. But the Nationals a good ball club, and the only hope the Braves have in that division is that they still play the Nationals 6 times, and they have had a lot of success against the Nationals. They're 9-4 against Washington this year, so they'll get a couple more cracks at them. But we've said it many times, Ray, if you're counting on having to sweep the team you're chasing to get back in it, that's never good. Coco coming in, and Coco will play it on a hop, so Hayward has a base hit.
Well, you get the point. If you're chasing a team and you're a few games back, you have to sweep. If you don't, you're just going to lose games because everyone is 2. And that is a high fastball, and that's hittable.
So Hayward aboard. And Hayward can steal a base. He's 14 for 18 in steal attempts. Here's Phil Goslin, the shortstop. Goslin playing tonight. The Braves' regular shortstop is Andrelton Simmons, who's a terrific player. But Simmons has a banged up ankle, and he's played yesterday but not playing tonight. We will see him in this series. Simmons is, well, they call him the human highlight film. Yeah. He's always making unbelievable plays at shortstop.
I told you, he might have also a tooth problem, like an abscess tooth or something, that he is getting some treatment. But so it might see him tonight sometime, but who knows. But you're right. If you want to Gold Glove at that age, that's a pretty good job at shortstop.
Now the Braves just trying to get things turned around. They got off to a great start this year. They were 17-9 in April. But since then, they're 7 games under 500, and overall, just 1 game over.
So the gentleman standing next to Freddie Gonzalez, Greg Walker, former great White Sox hitter and hitting coach for the White Sox, now with the Braves. Greg from the area, so it's perfect for him to come here and in a sense come back home. Being powerful first baseman, left-handed hitter.
In for a strike, and it's 2-2 to Gosselin. Freddie Freeman is the on-deck hitter. Gosselin grounded out to short in the first inning. And that one hit up the middle, and that's a base hit. Wasn't hit real hard, but it was kind of a hanging breaking ball. And Gosselin has a hit, and now the power guys are coming up.
Well, remember we have talked about hitter gets 2 strikes, kind of shortens up, and especially with a breaking ball, a hanger like that, he's able to stay back, take the base hit instead of a big swing trying to hit a home run. And that's on a 2-strike pitch, back up the middle for Gosselin. And that just moves the line up a little bit, putting Hayward at second. Well, the first inning kind of went rapid fire against the Braves. A couple of ground outs and a pop up. Everything looked great for Jason Hamill, and then a couple of missed fastballs, and all of a sudden he's behind 2-0.
First pitch to Freddie Freeman, swing and a miss. You saw that uppercut by Freeman. And that one's hit high in the air. Coco's going back, still going back. And he's going to leap, and he can't get it. And that's a 3-run homer for Freddie Freeman. And it's 5-0 Atlanta.
That's a wow. Considering where this ball is hit, but the pitch, a curveball, and there's your uppercut swing. He does not have to try to pull it with that power. And Hamill going to back up in case the ball. And Coco, because it was hit so high, he went back thinking he had a chance to jump and catch the ball, but no chance.
So the Braves have played long ball early, and they lead 5-0. So Freeman hits his 17th home run. He now has 67 RBIs.
Well, the 3 guys that hit home runs tonight, they came in, one with 16, one with 21, one with 17. They all 3 have hit. Those are the only ones in double figures.
So here's Justin Upton. First pitch to Upton is a fastball inside. This is what Upton did last inning.
Well, they tried to get it inside, didn't get it there, and Upton crushed it. It would have been nice for the A's. That hamstring injury kept him out a couple of games.
Well, if they continue to have the lead, at some point they're going to get him out of there and may keep him for tomorrow.
But that shows you they need to win, and he knows how important he is to this lineup, and give him a lot of credit for coming out of the game but not taking the day or two that he thought his manager was going to give him.
So Donaldson leaps up, makes a nice catch, and takes a hit away from Upton.
Well, line drive is always tough to time your leap, and Donaldson did it perfectly. That's a great timing effort by Josh Donaldson. Could leap too.
Well, here's Chris Johnson. Johnson hit a ball hard to Callaspo in the second inning. The Braves as a team are 10th in the National League in home runs hit coming into tonight. But you wouldn't know that by what they've done in this game.
He doesn't see it.
Coco looking for it. He can't find it. And it's up against the wall and bounces up into the seats. You know what, Ray? I don't think he saw the home run.
I think you're right.
Because he had that same look on the Freeman home run, and then he saw it right at the end, but he did the same thing on the home run as he did on that fly ball.
This time he does throw up his hands and indicated that he didn't see it. A little twilight, although really I don't know that you consider this twilight. But right there he said, I don't see it. It's going to be to the left, and it did bounce over, so it's just a double. But you know, you're right about the home run, because his jumping ability, if he had gotten back to the wall and jumped straight up, he might have had a chance for Freeman.
Yeah, I think he had to look for it for a little bit.
I think you're right. And then the wall stopped him when he bent back and had to look late.
So it goes as a double. So 6 hits now for the Braves, 4 of them extra base hits. And that would hit Gaddis, and he's going to be aboard.
Better get into baseball. That ball might have been crushed. Jesse Chavez. And there's a ball inside. Got him maybe a little bit of the elbow and then the midsection. He doesn't even stride. Imagine how far he could hit the ball if he took a stride.
No, I don't want to find out. Here's La Stella, the second baseman, the 8th man to hit in this inning.
Well, solo home runs, you don't like to give them up, but the one you really don't want to give up is a 3-run shot, and that's what he's done in this inning.
And that one shoots right past Norris. What the heck is going on here?
That's called a cross-up. Somebody messed up. Because I tell you, if Derek Norris, if that ball did not go to his left, it hit him right in the middle of the mask. He's looking breaking ball. And there's a fastball, and it's by him quickly. Because he's waiting for it to break. And it's one thing if you call a fastball and you get a breaking ball, you'll see him go up and go down.
Yeah.
But when you see him thinking going down, all of a sudden it's by him.
So second and third. And foul back.
Did they call it another one a strike?
So the count 1-2 to La Stella. Slider, and he lays off. So the count remains 2-2. 54 pitches in the game for Hamill. He's worked hard this inning. He's thrown 28. Coco going back. And he's got this one. Side retired. So Freddie Freeman with a 3-run homer, and it's 5-0 Atlanta after 3. brought to you by Discover RV in Lodi. Come and check out our website at discoverrv.net. On the concourse here at Turner Field, and the Braves with 3 home runs lead 5-0, top of the 4th inning.
Seems like be a lot of room on that concourse to walk around and pick up some souvenirs and some good food to eat.
Smells good, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. That's a pizza smell. Your favorite.
It smelled good and it tasted good.
I saw that in there. I knew you would be having some pizza.
So Alex Wood to face Norris. And then Freeman and Callaspo here in the 4th inning. This is the 4th time that the A's and the Braves have met at interleague play, but only one time have the Braves been to Oakland. That was way back in 2003. A's were here in 05, 08, and now here in 2014. Bounced, and it's fair past Johnson down the third base line. Bounces off the side wall. And so Norris will have a double. So Norris is 2 for 2.
And the person with the chair down the left field line, a lot of credit. This ball fair, and I think the person, the ball person waiting to find out what was called. Watch what happens here.
It's a good effort.
I think the chair is attached to him because he's not going to interfere with the baseball. He's going to get out of the way, just carry the chair with him.
He just didn't expect to have the chair fold up on him as he was carrying it away. The chair did not fully cooperate.
Yeah, but at least he didn't touch the baseball. That's the main thing.
First pitch to Nate Freeman is outside. So we got a Freeman and a Freeman, a Nate and a Freddie.
That's good. And they're both playing first.
That's right. And they're both big, strong fellas. The Rangers have taken a 1-0 lead as Adrian Beltre knocked in a run in the bottom of the 2nd inning. 1-0 Texas over the Angels and Garrett Richards.
Phillies did that both games they played against the Angels in Anaheim, but you know what the result was.
Yeah, we're not going to get worked up just yet.
No. I think the getting worked up would be the A's winning, not worrying, because the scoreboard watching is there, but comes a point in time you got to take care of yourself.
3-0 to Nate Freeman. He takes a strike. And the Mariners now leading the Tigers 6-1 in the 5th inning. Seattle just continues to play good baseball. They have won 8 out of their last 9. 3-1 pitch belted to left. And that baby's gone way out of here by Freeman. And it's 5-2.
A sigh of relief from Big Nate as he got into a fastball, and of course we saw what he did in Miami. Very similar. The fastball was in. This one got a chance to extend long arms, and that ball was crushed. I think he knew it just like the other hitters knew.
Yeah, that was a long one. This is a big ballpark, yes, and it was a good 12-15 rows up.
Well, good swing by Nate Freeman. Very controlled. Got the count. 3-0, then 3-1, and then got a better fastball to hit. He knew it was gone. Should be able to trot like that.
And Callaspo rolls one up the middle into center field. 3 straight hits against Alex Wood, and the A's mounting a little comeback here in the 4th.
Well, just listen and watch. Swung on, gone. That was way up, about 12-15 rows. The young man, the gentleman that's your teammate, Jones?
Pat Jones.
Pat Jones. We were talking in there after you had left, and we're talking about Big Nate. He said he's probably going to hit a home run. You know, he's in the lineup facing left. He's probably going to hit a home run. So we know somebody in the stands is a scout. He scouts both leagues, American National, and you played together where?
We did in junior college. Pat Jones, a scout for the Kansas City Royals. Many, many years ago, over 30 years ago, we were teammates. And we see him, I get to see him occasionally. Saw him early in the year. So it's always fun to talk to the scouts, especially the ones that you know a little bit, because you can find out kind of what they're thinking, not necessarily about your team, but about other teams.
Well, and as a major league scout, both leagues, that means he's seeing all 30 teams. So about 29, maybe not his own, but he's probably even scouting his own, which he knows his team, the Royals, are playing well.
You see a lot of former players doing it. Pat Burrell is here watching both these teams. Reddick fouls it straight back. 1-2 the count.
Pat Burrell got a nice compliment from Gordon Lanky, longtime scout with the Phillies. Of course, Pat Burrell played there, and of course the Giants. But Gordy said he'd never seen a former player step into the scouting role, former major league player step into the scouting role the way Pat Burrell did.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah,
Giants rave about the work he does.
Yeah. So congratulations to Pat, because sometimes that does not happen from a player who's been in the big leagues.
Freeman gets the out at first, so Reddick is retired. Callaspo goes to second.
Fans enter for a chance to win a Friday night fireworks experience at the A's versus the Phillies game on September the 19th, presented by State Farm. You'll have a VIP access the whole night, from throwing out the ceremonial first pitch to MVP infield seats, and finally a special fireworks viewing area on the field. Enter at winwithstatefarm.com/Oakland A's.
So the A's have a runner in scoring position, but it'd be nice to pick up this third run. Then you are indeed right back in the game.
Okay, this being the National League, if Moreno found a way to get on, we might see a pinch out of this early. I don't know if Bob Melvin can't see the bullpen. Somebody is loosening, but that's the difference in the National League and the American League.
Well, the Braves actually have action in their bullpen. They got a Russell, the left-hander, is up. So James Russell, and he's throwing like, I need to get ready to get in.
He's throwing like the starting pitcher's throwing a lot of pitches, which Alex Wood has, and maybe losing a little bit because of the number of pitches he's thrown, which, as you see at the box, number 76 coming up.
That one sliced to right field.
Only one out.
Hayward's got it, and Callaspo thought there was 2 outs. The throw back in, and that's a double play. And that's another base running mistake at second base by an A's runner. So Nate Freeman with a 2-run homer. It's 5-2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. photo. Put your name down and your hometown down for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. Tonight's fan photo is Carter and Charlie Quintal from Pleasanton. It's a good-looking pair. That is a good-looking pair.
Future A's fans.
Carter and Charlie.
That's great.
5-2. The Braves lead. It's the bottom of the fourth inning. A couple of base running mistakes by the A's in the early going.
It's not good.
That was not good. Both at second base. Caspo doubled off. And Gomes was picked off in the first inning.
I think of the rules, kind of standard rules for a Major League manager. I think it just increased by one. The first two were be on time and run hard. Give me 90 feet. The third is know how many outs there are in an inning.
And I would say you're right.
Yeah.
And, you know, it probably gets magnified a little bit. The A's struggling just a little bit. They've lost 4 out of 5. And your lead is down to 2, and all that sort of goes into it. And smaller mistakes are indeed more magnified. And they probably are right this time of year anyways if you're in
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, hit 2 teams in this weekend fighting for postseason berths, and so you know it's going to be good baseball this weekend. Not to mention, not to think it's not at other times, but if club is completely out of it, they're playing a little bit more relaxed.
And Hamill walks the 8th place hitter to start the 4th.
Michael Flaherty is loosening, and I think what Bob Melvin with Hamill do to lead off the 5th inning because of the double play. Now Derek Norris walking out slowly. This maybe just buy some time. Maybe. I mean, this is going to be a sacrifice from the pitcher.
But then after that, you got Hayward a lefty, Gosselin a righty, Freeman a lefty.
Yeah, and this is. Well, and this might be, of course, again, being the National League. If it's not a double switch, that means O'Flaherty, since he would be leading off the 5th inning. And Bob Melvin going directly to the pitcher, so no double switch. You have to go to the umpire first for that. And
so when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts.
Presented by Ubisoft when the A's take on the Angels Sunday, August the 24th, that big weekend series. This unique backpack is designed by pitcher Sean Doolin and Ryan Cook. 10,000 fans receive the backpack upon entry, so be sure to get your tickets now at athletics.com/tickets or by calling 877-493-BALL. A's Bullpen Unicorn Backpack presented by Ubisoft. Look for your dream job at ubi.com. You get your own unicorn backpack, just like the boys take at the big league level. Walk down to the bullpen, and everybody looks at them and laughs. So you can have your own. I want to see Jack take it to school.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't either. I'm kidding.
I think what you could do, though, is if you got it, you could say, hey, you're making fun of me. This is what the A's relievers do.
That's a great point.
Right.
Former Atlanta Brave, Eric Flaherty, on the mound where he pitched for Bobby Cox.
And he was good for
yes,
the
he
Braves.
was. And they did sign him, even recovering from Tommy John surgery. So, thinking about this, Kipe, as far as Eric Flaherty, still recovering kind of and coming back from the Tommy John surgery. So it's not as if he could pitch more than one inning anyway.
Nope.
So Bob Melvin would like to see him get through this inning, pinch hit for him, and then bring somebody else out of the bullpen. But just as important to put a 0 on the board in this 4th inning.
Bunted foul again, and basically the strategy generally is if you're at this point in the game, if you're going to double switch, you're going to want the pitcher that you are bringing in to pitch multiple innings.
Absolutely.
If you don't double switch, well, then you probably just want the pitcher for one inning, and that's looks like the situation here.
And Eric Flaherty knows it. Bob Melvin, Kurt Young know it. That they're great to have him back. Very happy to have him back in the bullpen. Works hard. Has recovered from the Tommy John surgery, and he's throwing very well.
Oh, 2 pitch runner goes, and it's bunted, and it's bunted fair. And the throw to first in time. So the runner was going, and Wood gets the bunt down.
It's probably going to be a stolen base, or in this case, a sacrifice. With 2 strikes, Wood is bunting. And a very good bunt, deadened it out in front of the plate. Donaldson had to hurry back to third because he came in. And with B.J. Upton with very, very good speed. I saw him in Tampa Bay with the Rays running well. And B.J. Upton, I think well documented, he has struggled since he's been with the Braves. And to walk him on 5 pitches in front of the pitcher, and maybe Bob Melvin figured maybe Justin Hamlet's just not his night.
So here's Hayward, who takes a strike. Speaking of Eric O'Flaherty, Ray, remember he came up with the Mariners.
Yep.
And we saw him a little bit with the Mariners, and he just did not pitch that well with them.
Right.
And he was placed on waivers, and the Braves claimed him off waivers, and he had 5 terrific seasons with the Braves. The last season, though, is when the arm started to flare up. And that was last year, and he pitched in just 19 games for the Braves. He was a free agent, and he signed with the A's. But the Braves had him and Johnny Vetters, who's on the disabled list, and Kimbrel. They were lights out. And that got a good chunk of Norris. He'll walk it off.
Well, you could hear the ball foul tip off of Hayward's bat, and then watch the right foot, Derek Norris. And ball got underneath the extension over the top of his foot in the shin guard. Kind of think about Eric O'Flaherty. I told the story about when Bobby Cox sat him down, talked to him for about 20 minutes, and he so excited he forgot his shower shoes, so Cox gave him his, and he's got him. He's a Hall of Famer. Hall of Famers shower shoes. And
I'm not giving them back.
No, Bobby Cox, great induction speech, and many, many years here. And so John Sherholtz, the president, I said, somebody mentioned he says, it was Bobby. He's trying to get me to Cooperstown. Might be a pretty good chance for him, too.
1-2 pitch is in the dirt. So 2-2 to Hayward. And one of the reasons why I'm sure Bob Melvin wanted O'Flaherty in the game, Hayward is just really struggling this year against lefties. He's hitting 165 against left-handed pitching.
And give him a breaking ball that's close for him to think it's a strike and get him to swing and miss, but don't throw it slowly. And he's struggling left-hander on left-hander, throw it hard. Ooh, it's way too.
On deck is Goslin.
Derek Norris, a very good job on this ball. Fastball spiked, and he just kind of backhanded the ball. Good job, and fortunately, he was able to catch the ball.
So 3-2. B.J. Upton, the runner at second, 1 out. And he missed and he walked it. So Flaherty was ahead of Hayward and he couldn't put him away.
Well, he might be a little pumped up too. Coming back, pitch in Atlanta where he did pitch well, as you mentioned. And maybe amped up a little bit too much. So it's been a while since he has pitched.
So here's Goslin, who singled and then scored on Freeman's home run. And he swings at a slider and he missed it.
That gets ahead of the first pitch, a breaking ball out of the strike zone, and like the shortstop looking fastball first pitch didn't get it.
Very good speed on the bases for the Braves with Upton and Hayward. Mike Trout has a sacrifice fly, and the Angels have tied up the Rangers 1-1. That game now in the bottom of the third. And Upton was going to go.
Yeah.
He took about 3 steps.
And one of the reasons the first pitch that was thrown, actually when Hayward was hitting, well, Flaherty doesn't look back, and that happened yesterday with Alex Gordon at second and 2 outs. Jeff Samardzija pitching. He didn't look, and Gordon took off. And the problem that occurred in that game is that when Gordon got to third, Samardzija wouldn't throw a splitter, and ended up giving up a 3-2 fastball base hit to Moustakas. So if you don't look back, and runners, and B.J. Upton we have seen has excellent speed, and you kind of get a tendency of not doing something like looking the runner back, he will take off.
So 1-1 the count. Callaspo sneaking in. One hit high and foul right side. Yeah, for all B.J. Upton struggles, and he really has struggled with his hitting here with the Braves. Well, the speed has not gone away, and he is still a good base stealer. He's got 18 this year.
Well, he can roam in the outfield, center field with his brother to his right, but he's a great center fielder. He has a very, very strong arm. The Tampa Bay Rays finally found a position for him to utilize his arm and his speed.
And that one is fouled, or no, it's a swing and a miss. It goes past Norris, and that allows both the runners to move up. So it was not a foul ball. It was just a swing and a miss, but it popped off the glove of Norris.
And it would indicate another cross-up, but I think Derek Norris, it almost looked like he missed it. Now he is, maybe call a 2-seamer and got a 4-seamer. I don't know, but did he get a pass ball in the first one? So he's going to probably get one on this one as well. Yeah, thank you. It's unfortunate because he had a strikeout, but now you have 2 runners in scoring position.
So second and third, 2 outs, and here's Freeman. Freeman took a mighty cut. Let's go look at Freddie Freeman's home run chart. So he covers everything. So he's got 7 home runs to the left of center field. That's not too shabby. His one tonight was to pretty much straightaway center field. Maybe just a shade toward left center, but not much.
He said guys with uppercut swings can't have power. That's some power. When you can go straight away and you don't have to pull it, you're doing something.
That contract that Ray talked about was an 8-year contract that Freeman signed. He signed that in February of this past offseason. And he drives this one to center. Coco going back, and he's going to be there, and he makes the catch. Couple of runners stranded. We're headed to the 5th. It's 5-2 Atlanta.
deposit on a 2015 A's ticket plan and secure your place in line for 2014 postseason tickets. For more information, call 510-638-GO-A's or go to athletics.com/deposit. Don't need the Oakland in front of it anymore, just athletics.com.
5-2, the Braves lead, top of the 5th inning. And Sam Fuld is the pinch hitter. So O'Flaherty pitches just the 1 inning as we expected. And now Fuld pinch hits. He hits it on the ground to Goslin. Throws low, and it's dug out by Freddie Freeman, and Fuld is retired as a pinch hitter. So 1 out here in the top of the 5th inning. So Hamill for 3+, O'Flaherty for an inning, and we'll see who comes in for the 5th. Top of the order, and Coco Crisp, who has grounded out twice to third. He hits this one in the hole, but Goslin was playing that way. So pretty good defensive positioning by the Braves. Goslin slid over to the hole, and that's right where the ball was hit.
Third ground ball out tonight for Coco Crisp, all 3 to the left side. And yesterday in Kansas City, he did get a hit in his last at bat, but the first 4 at bats were ground balls also. So a little frustrating. He's hitting the ball on the ground, but not finding the holes. And in this inning, Wood's doing it quickly.
Yeah. The pitch count at 78. Johnny Gomes has walked twice, so he has made Alex Wood work. See Wood's velocity 90-91, but there's a lot of movement. And I'm talking about with his body, his arms and legs, and it's a little bit of a funky delivery, and that can make it tough on a hitter. Almost looks like he kind of rocks back, Ray, and then there's a little hesitation.
Yeah.
And then everything kind of comes at you.
He takes the arm back, drops it down, and a full. That's a big one.
And that's a nasty pitch, and that's a 7-pitch inning. And that's just about what Alex Wood needed. So he gets his first strikeout to end the top of the 5th. Stories. It was a big year for the Braves organization. 2004 Hall of Famers Bobby Cox, Greg Maddox, and the left-hander Tom Glavine. And next year, John Smoltz is eligible, and he's got a pretty good shot to get in the Hall of Fame. And don't forget about 2018, that's when Chipper Jones will be eligible for the Hall of Fame. And I would say that those two got a pretty good chance of making it, with Cox, Glavine, and Maddox all going in the same year. And you know what? There's something awfully nice about that, with the terrific years that those three had together here in Atlanta.
Smoltz acquired from the Tigers in one of those trades that for Adol Alexander trying to win now, gave up a young kid by the name of John Smoltz that Tigers probably wish they could have kept, but did. Alexander helped them win. Jesse Chavez taking over, and this the 5th inning.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. Bob Melvin would love to get a couple innings out of Jesse Chavez. He will. Pitcher spot remains the 9th spot. Upton has homered and lined out to third. Chris Johnson to follow, and then Evan Gattis. Hits that one hard, but right to Donaldson. Donaldson straightens up and throws him out. Greg Maddox, of course, started his career with the Cubs, but then signed a free agent contract going into the 1993 season with the Braves, and he was something, folks. 355 career wins.
I think one of the things I heard about him and what he said, that he didn't care what happened to the baseball the first 52 feet. It was the last 8 that he was concerned about. You saw how much movement on his fastball. You know, he said it can come out of your hand, it can throw 100, but if it's going to be straight, it's not going to help you. But as he said, those last 8 to 10 feet, man, you want it moving, and he had it moving as well as anybody.
And you want to talk about every pitch, whatever type of pitch it was, coming out of his hand the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was just exactly the same on the release, whether it was a changeup or a fastball or whatever he may be throwing.
And every one of those highlights we showed was that when he finished, he said, I'm an infielder. About 16, 18 Gold Gloves.
Close pitch, 3-1. And he was special. His first season with the Braves was 1993, and he won 20 games that year. And it's a 1-out walk to Chris Johnson. The resume for one Greg Maddox: 4 straight Cy Youngs, 4 ERA titles. There's your 18 Gold Gloves, Ray. And when it was all said and done, 355 career wins and over 3,300 strikeouts.
How about the 92 to 95, the Cy Young season? 75-29 with a 198 home run average. Come on, every time he took them out, he's going to win. Yep. Or not give up anything. In the loss, maybe the club didn't score many runs.
That one's hit to right field, but it's right at Reddick, who's there. He grabs it. Well, in 1994, Maddox ERA was 1.56. In 1995, it was 1.63. So there you have it.
And I thought one of the interesting things that he did say, of course, he had all the success, and he was so concerned about other pitchers. He said, I wanted to do well because maybe I could set the standard, the bar for other pitchers to have success when it comes to making money. And you look at the pitchers, some of the pitchers now, the contracts that they have, maybe just a reason that because of Greg Maddox, the way he pitched, 351 wins, put him in the Hall of Fame, but he was not only a great pitcher, but kind of a humble human being.
One and one the count to Tommy La Stella, who has grounded out and flied out. He's 0 for 2.
Where the Braves came into Oakland that one time that you mentioned, sitting on the bench was Bobby Cox, the manager, while the A's were taking batting practice, and that night starting pitcher Greg Maddox. And it's like, what are you doing here? And he said, I'm just watching the hitters take me and just maybe I could pick up something since I'm not that familiar with them.
Johnson, the runner at first. And that one's hit to left field. Gomes going back. Warning track, and he reaches up to make the catch. Side retired. So a runner left, and we're moving to the 6th inning from Turner Field. It's the Braves 5 and the A's 2. Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at prism.com. So the Braves lead the A's 5-2, 6th inning from Turner Field. And it's Alex Wood back out there. Wood had a 7-pitch 5th inning. And we'll see how that helps him stay in the game as the game moves forward. He's had 83 pitches now, and he's retired 5 in a row. So 1-1 to Donaldson, followed by Norris and Nate Fryman in the 6th.
Wood has 2/3 of the formula for a starting pitcher. Have a good first inning to get started, 5th inning to qualify for a W, and of course 9 for a complete game, which are rare these days. But you have a 7-pitch 5th inning with the pitch count now at 85, so that's 7-pitch when he had some higher pitch count innings. Might have bought him at least another inning or 2.
That one bounced up the middle, but playing right there is LaStella, the second baseman. Flips it to first, 1 out. The shift. Stella playing right behind second base. So I have to run this by you, Ray. I don't know if you saw it today. There was some statistics on the shift. Not necessarily how much it's working, how much it's not working, but as far as amount of shifts. So this year, there has been 11,434 shifts. Everybody, every team, every batter. Okay. So we got a month and a half of baseball left. Last year, the total amount of shifts for the entire year was 8,134. So if you just finish out this year at about the same pace, it'll be over 15,000 shifts, and it'll be almost twice as many as last year. So we're not crazy. They're doing it much more this year.
Exactly, absolutely. This is a modified with what the Braves are playing. Derek Norris to hit the ball to right field in the air, pull the ball between third and short on the infield with a huge gap between the shortstop and the actual second base. And there's your fly ball, exactly where they're playing.
And Hayward is under it, and he's got it. So again, we've talked about it a fair amount this year, for it to be done that often with all the information that organizations have, it has to be working.
And you know what that means? Somebody has a job to be able to. Okay, how many did the Braves use on this August 15th? And
I mean,
yeah, you're right.
You're talking 11,400 shifts.
And this is game number 122 for the A's, so 40 games remaining after tonight. Navarro's a right-hander loosening just in case.
1-1 the count to Nate, who hit a 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Long home run to left field. Good slider, 1-2.
After hitting a fastball 3-1, Wood this time getting ahead with a breaking pitch. Trying to tease him with a fastball, going right back again to the breaking pitch.
Setting up outside, and it's low with a changeup. Watch where this ball lands.
Well, he could look at this video all night, all day, and realize that he took 2 steps and was a fan, observed how far the ball went. Didn't tell you got lucky.
Yeah, he probably would, because he's such a nice young man.
I said, Alex Wood, you know, he tried to make a good pitch, and I just got lucky that he made a mistake. Yeah, he is as nice as there is.
Roll to short. In the hole is Goslin. Throws just in time to get a hustling Nate Freeman. Side retired. So Alex Wood has retired 8 in a row. And it's 5-2 Braves.
Fastball missed inside, home run, Justin Upton. Next one, Evan Gattis, fastball, middle of the plate, home run, left center, crushed. Next one is a curveball, middle of the plate, straightaway center field, 3-run home run, barely makes it. And then, how about a 3-1 fastball to Nate Freeman? Those are 4 pitches that should have been hit exactly the way they were. I hate to say it, but I mean,
know what you're saying.
That's what happens when you make a mistake to major league hitters. You really don't get by with a lot of mistakes, and tonight is proof of that.
Here's B.J. Upton leading it off in the bottom of the 6th inning. Strikeout and a walk for Upton. Pinch hitters on deck. It's Ryan Domit, and then the top of the order, Hayward.
Seeing B.J. Upton wearing the glasses. I don't know if they're, I mean, hardly a breeze blowing. Sometimes the hitters will wear them and don't know if the prescription. He was not wearing glasses during batting practice. But when you're struggling, first thing they do, let's check your eyes. And A.J. Upton, since he signed the contract with the Braves with this second year of the 5-year deal.
Yeah, and he's taking a lot of heat too. 5 years, $75 million. And he did not have a good year last year, and he's not having a good year this year. And that right there is what he is doing way too much of.
You know, and you said between innings, and I agree with you. He has not changed. It's been the same approach when it's with Tampa Bay and now with the Braves. It worked relatively, I guess, okay when he's with the Rays. But he said, I had to get off the turf, and that's what they have at Tropicana Field.
Well, another strikeout, and he has struck out 152 times now, and that is the most in the National League.
See the cut fastball? That's a great pitch. Starting with the cutter for a swing and miss. Look at the cut right at the end. That's a tough pitch for anybody, but if you strike out. And Jason Hamill has to be watching, saying, I walked him last at bat. You know, walked him on 5 pitches.
So here's Ryan Doman.
Okay, this is where Jesse Chavez role. Of course, he did a great job starting, but remember his last 2 years in the long relief role, and this really is well suited for him because of his ability to give some innings. It might cost him tonight because it is the National League. Jesse Chavez is staying sharp enough that if he has to get back in the rotation, or they want him to, he's going to be ready. But he is very well suited for this role, which you don't like to have a long man, but Jesse handles it very well.
Well, it's only a 3-run deficit, so he's an important part of this game right now. Strike 3 called, and the pinch hitter Ryan Doman strikes out looking. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th.
Another backdoor cut fastball. Boy, that's a great pitch. He bunted at the 0-1 fastball. Missed it.
Top of the order in Hayward. Right on the outside corner. Hayward has grounded out, singled and scored, and walked, so he's been on base a couple of times. And he gets jammed, and this is going to be a heck of an inning. No, it's not. Freeman missed it. About as routine as you can get, and he just missed it.
And you know, he had so much time, it's almost as if he was trying to hurry so he could flip the ball to Jesse. And all he had to do is catch it and walk to first base, because big first leadoff hitter got jammed, and I think he just combined, maybe trying to look one hand instead of 2, and just clanked it.
So first error in the ball game. And that one's driven to center field, high in the air. Coco's going back. He's at the wall. Phil Gosselin with a home run. This one to a deep part of the ballpark. So 7-2, the Braves lead.
And wouldn't you know, gets his first, and he should have been in the dugout, but it's usually when a pitcher can say, you make a mistake, I'll cover you, make up for it. But with the first pitch, Phil Gosselin gets a high cutter and gets his first major league home run.
So here's Freddie Freeman, who takes a strike. So 4 home runs hit by the Braves tonight. And that one got a little piece of Norris, but the count is 0-2. So career home run number 1 for Phil Gosselin. Two-pitch swing and a miss. He struck him out. So Gosselin with a 2-run homer, and we're on to the 7th inning with the Braves leading 7-2. IndyCar Series returns to Sonoma Raceway on August 22nd to the 24th for the GoPro Grand Prix of Sonoma. Well, the Braves have used the long ball tonight big time. They have hit 4 home runs, and they lead the Athletics 7-2. And it'll be David Carpenter out of the bullpen for Atlanta. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up, and brake experts. So Carpenter's 48th appearance, lots of strikeouts, and he takes over for Alex Wood.
Another power arm, upwards of 97, 98 with a slider to changeup, but probably just as much throwing the fastballs.
6'2", 230 pounds, David Carpenter. And the first pitch is foul back. So Callaspo will lead things off, then Reddick and Perino here in the 7th inning. Nothing good happening in Arlington. Cole Calhoun just hit a 3-run homer for the Angels. Or make that a 3-run double, excuse me. So it's 4-1, the Angels lead. So it was a home run.
Well, the home run that hurt the A's was the last one.
Yep.
Because 3 runs to 5 runs, and it's too bad because talk about, and I know coming in here just thinking about this is a big yard, but the way the ball has traveled tonight seems kind of small, or not, because they've been hit hard. So I guess they could kind of leave any place.
But you don't expect 5 home runs total.
You really don't expect the A's pitchers to give up 4 because they don't give up a lot of home runs.
3-2 now to Callaspo.
Nate hit one.
Yeah, Big Nate. He's not going to be happy about what happened last half inning, though, with the air. Three-two pitch, strike 3 called at the knees.
He did not call it until it was 3-2, and a couple pitches were down in the zone, and this one, though, I mean, that's a perfectly thrown fastball outside corner. Callaspo, after taking a couple that were down, maybe thought should have been struck out earlier, but this time was, and I think we just asked Chili Davis as far as the height. And according to Laz Diaz, it was high enough.
So 1 out for Reddick. Right on the outside corner, 97 miles an hour.
Shirley Davis, as he always does, is basically a great game plan for his hitters, but I don't think he thought that the opposing team was going to hit the 4 home runs. Thought maybe his was.
So a quick 0-2 to Reddick, who has popped out and grounded out. Skied to shallow left. That's Johnson, the third baseman, who's back.
The A's will host the Chevron STEM Zone at Odako Coliseum Saturday, August the 23rd. Chevron created the STEM Zone to help deepen kids' interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics outside the classroom by showing its applications in the real world. The fun and hands-on baseball-related learning exhibits will be located behind sections 201 and 217 during the August 23rd game against the Los Angeles Angels. For tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets. Next weekend.
Yeah.
It's coming up fast against the Angels.
Perino fouls it straight back.
See the frustration with Josh Reddick, with all the family and friends, and you see that if you, I mean, you really just have to play your game. Whatever happens, happens, and pressing should not do it. Easier said than done. Want to try to impress the fans, the people who are here.
So 1-1 the count to Perino. The Mariners are leading the Tigers 6-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. The young left-hander James Paxton pitching for the Mariners, and he's out pitching Rick Porcello. Porcello was looking for his 14th win, but he's not going to get that. So the Mariners opening up that big series in Detroit. Perino fouls it back. Dan Otero is loosening up. Jaso is in the on-deck circle. That's the pitcher spot. So 1-2 to Perino, who's 0 for 2. Got him swinging. So a couple of strikeouts for David Carpenter. And we have reached the 7th inning stretch from Turner Field in Atlanta. 7-2, the Braves lead.
Xfinity, home of the most live sports. And by Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places.
Hey, Know It All with Sportsnet Central. It's brought to you by Hyundai. It's tonight at 10:30, and it's over on our sister station, Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area. Of all the highlights from tonight's A's-Braves game, also highlights from the Lions and the Raiders exhibition game going on at the Coliseum, and also highlights from the Angels and the Rangers in Arlington. Now the Braves have slugged 4 home runs. They lead the A's 7-2. As Justin Upton slowly strides into the batter's box. Jesse Chavez has been standing on the mound ready for probably 20 seconds. Upton took about 7 minutes to get from the dugout to home plate to hit.
Jesse showed his frustration after the home run, even more so after he struck out Freeman to end the inning, and that glove took a loud blow.
Inside, 1-1 to Justin Upton. Homer, line out, ground out for Upton. Upton in his second year in Atlanta after the big trade from the Diamondbacks. It was Upton and Chris Johnson, who's the starting third baseman for the Braves. From Arizona for Martin Prado, Randall Delgado, Zeke Spruill, Nick Ahmed, and Brandon Drury, the last 3 minor leaguers.
Well, yesterday, and there was some thought maybe Justin Upton would not be playing tonight because of what happened yesterday as he went for a double. He got that, then he had to go to third base on a sac fly, and this is when he slid there and said the trainers had noticed he was kind of limping a little bit, favoring the hamstring, and he came out of the game and played tonight, and he is 1 for 4. That one hit was a long one. But it slid in here and came up and then grabbed the hamstring, and he's trying to stretch it, and the training group and Freddie Gonzalez, the manager, saw that and said nope. And I tell you, it must have been pretty smart to take him out, because for him to come back with a hamstring tightness and come back the next day and play.
Wouldn't you say, Ray, that if you have that, the tightness, or maybe just a little pull, you can play, but you just have to be really careful.
Right.
And if you extend at all, that's when you have to be real careful. Swing and a miss, 2-1 to Chris Johnson, who has grounded out, doubled, and walked.
Great cut fastball thrown by Jesse Chavez. He just happened to throw a bad one to Gosselin, and that's why he was upset, because he got under the cutter just enough. It elevated it, and that's when Gosselin hit the first pitch out for his first major league home run.
Just missed, 3-1. Fouled straight back. See where the Royals are winning again, 5-3 in the 5th inning in Minnesota. So the A's caught enough of the Royals the last 4 days to realize that they are a dangerous team. The Royals have won 9 out of their last 10. 3-2 pitch hit high and fouled on the right field line.
And they're also seeing what the Tigers are not doing, or what they are doing, and that's trailing. I assume they're still trailing.
Yes, they are. 6-2 now. Jim Johnson was called up to the big leagues.
I saw that. Congratulations to him.
To Jim Johnson in the Tigers bullpen.
They've had some injuries to some relievers.
Perino gets a nice big hop, and that's the second out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. contenders got important players back tonight. Edwin Encarnacion back in the lineup for the Blue Jays. Remember, he got hurt at the Coliseum. So that was a long time ago. He'd been out for quite a while, having a terrific season. So the Jays are thrilled to get him back. They're just hoping it's not too late. Toronto now 7.5 back in the division, but just 3.5 back in that wild card. Michael Bourne is back in the Indians lineup. Oh, 0-1 to Evan Gattis. He's got a long home run tonight. He's also been hit by a pitch and hit a fly ball to right field.
So Chavez with a big sweeping cut fastball and a perfectly thrown fastball inside corner.
No swing as they check down to Alfonso Marquez.
As Diaz did that so quickly, he might have scared Marquez. Might have scared everybody. I mean, he was quick to appeal to first base, which give him some credit because he didn't want to try to do it himself. This is the side swing, a check, and that's strength. So you can do that with the bat. Start, hold up.
Gattis' home run in the second was his 18th of the year. And he skies this one. Shallow center. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Callaspo. Side retired. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jesse Chavez. 8th inning coming up. Atlanta 7 and the A's 2. A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Real Strong Redwood. Learn more at realstrongredwood.com. So the Braves leading the Athletics 7-2 in the first of this 3-game series. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and repair experts. Jordan Walden comes in. Remember Jordan Walden when he was with the Angels?
Yeah, they know this guy. Give a little funky delivery where he'll take that little hopper to they kind of hydroplane a little bit when he delivers the pitch. Kind of almost both feet come off the ground as he throws. But he does throw hard. It's fit nicely in the bullpen of the Braves. And facing a team that I'm sure he's familiar with. He's seen them enough or saw them enough when he's with the Angels.
So Jordan Walden, after 3 years with the Angels, one in which he had 32 saves, he was then traded to the Braves. So J-So pinch hitting. He's pinch hitting for Jesse Chavez to lead off here in the 8th inning. There's the fastball at 95 miles an hour. The trade was for Tommy Hanson. It was back in the offseason between 2012 and 2013.
I mean, you know he throws hard. Just watch his feet.
And he plays pretty good defense as well.
That's right. I mean,
he got lifted off his feet twice in a matter of about a half a second.
Yeah, that great center field camera coming right back at you. And, I mean, that's called right shoulder. And it's right back at him. He put his glove up. I mean, to reach back the way he did on a line drive. And you're right, lifted him up when he threw the ball, lifted him up when he caught the ball.
Well, that's got to be scary.
Oh, if you saw his eyes, I don't blame him. His eyes just wide open, just like a hitter when he sits a hanging curveball. But that's always very dangerous when you see that happen. Watch his feet now. I mean, left foot, watch the right foot.
He is. They are both off the ground for a very small.
He's hydroplaning and throwing about 95.
That is something.
But it's always amazing to watch. I mean, as a hitter, you're looking at his feet. How does he do that? You better not look at his feet because it'll be by you quickly.
And it almost looks like he's jumping at you.
Exactly. Which he scares you more, especially as hard as he throws.
And you know what's funny, right? And see if our guys can get a shot at this. When he releases the ball, his right foot is completely nowhere near the rubber.
Exactly. He's pushing off but elevating or jumping up when he does it. Yeah.
He's almost a foot in front of the rubber when he releases the ball.
Yeah, but just watch his right foot that's on the rubber and he delivers.
That's an advantage.
Yes. Yeah, especially if he's moving that much forward.
I mean, it's not 60 feet 6 inches anymore.
No. But you think of tall pitchers. Think of Randy Johnson. When he threw the ball, it's like he was 50 feet from you.
On the infield, Goslin, the shortstop, squeezes it. So Coco Crisp is 0 for 4.
Well, again, just watch the right foot. When he pushes off, then he just elevates himself.
See, look where he's releasing. Look at that. I mean, that's more than a foot, Ray.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that may be 18 inches, 18 to 20 inches.
And you look at it. You also look at his left foot, how far he strides, and then by the time he releases the ball, he's way out in front. And they're measuring the velocity from 60 feet to the plate, but somebody like him or guys who do have the long strides, it's considerably harder considering where they're throwing it from.
Now, we're certainly not trying to cause any problems for Jordan Walden.
Oh.
Seems like a nice enough guy.
He's good.
But could that be illegal?
I think because he is already starting to throw, he's pushed off with his right foot, and he just is elevated, but he's pushing off more. Guys will kind of push off and drag their foot. The strange thing about him is how he kind of lifts his right foot off the ground.
Yeah.
And you're right. From the hitter standpoint, it looks like he's jumping at you. And maybe a little distracted by the front foot or the feet.
See, Sonny's talking about the same thing we're talking about. I'm telling you.
He might be thinking, how could I throw my 12 to 6 curve and do that?
That's a good idea. 2-2 the count to Johnny Gomes, who has walked twice and struck out. High fastball, and Gomes stays alive. Not a real crisp game for the Athletics. They made a costly error at first base. They've had a runner doubled off second and a runner picked off second. And the pitching staff has allowed 4 home runs.
And they didn't have an off day yesterday, so no excuses.
Abad is getting loose for the A's. A's bullpen is right down the left field line. Braves bullpen is in right center field. 3-2 pitch is skied behind home plate. Gaddis says he's going to leave the mask on. There's no reason to get rid of it. And that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Jordan Walden.
Form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
This game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Too many home runs tonight for the Braves. They've hit 4. And they lead this game by a score of 7-2. 2-4-1 for the A's, 7-7-0 for the Braves. Jason Hamill, 3+ innings. The only 2 runs for the Athletics, courtesy of Nate Fryman's second home run of the year. So Upton, Gaddis, Freeman, Goslin have homered for the Braves. And Goslin was his first major league home run. So back to the bullpen for the Athletics. It's the lefty Fernando Abad coming in. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and brake experts. Abad is the 4th pitcher of the night for the Athletics. And Jesse Chavez went 3 innings, gave up just 1 hit, and that was the Goslin home run after Nate Fryman's error. So it's a pair of unearned runs charged to Jesse Chavez.
You know, Jesse Chavez, and you know what a difference really that made. It's unfortunate, and you know, Jesse's upset with himself for giving up the home run, but he could have had really 3 perfect innings with 4 strikeouts and a walk. But as routine a play as you will ever see, and the result was an error. But that's why you can never just assume that every play is going to be made, and is have one more chance tonight to try to come back.
So here's Tommy La Stella. La Stella, it's a little pop-up foul territory. Looks like Donaldson's going to have just enough room, and he does. 1 out. So Upton will hit for the 4th time.
But you know, the one thing B.J. Upton did say, and I'm sure it was something that was pleasing to both Upton brothers, for B.J. to sign the contract and for Justin to be traded and acquired from the Diamondbacks. They thought Braves thought it's going to be a great combination to have the two brothers. And BJ said it's been great. And I'm sure for him, as much as he has struggled and his brother has played well, for him to at least be able to have a conversation with his younger brother, who is having a very good season for the Braves. Very good with Arizona as well. I guess if you need somebody to lean on, why not lean on the brother?
That's a good call.
Yeah, so at least they've been able to do that. But frustrating, and I'm sure Justin would simply tell him, be yourself. Just eventually it's going to happen. And it's a 5-year deal. First 1 plus 3.5 months have not been very good.
And BJ will be 30 years old a little bit later on this month. 3 years older than Justin. Hits that one hard into left field, and he's got a base hit.
You can look like Coco with your very own Coco Crisp replica jersey, presented by Cache Creek Casino Resort at the 1:05 p.m. Labor Day matinee against the Seattle Mariners on September the 1st. 15,000 fans will walk away with this authentic green replica A's jersey. For information and tickets, visit athletics.com/tickets today.
All right, we like that one. So we got a pinch hitter. It's Ramiro Pena. He's a switch hitter. He's a backup infielder. This is the pitcher spot. And fouls it back to the screen. So 8 hits now for the Braves. A's have 4. Angels now lead the Rangers 5-1. That game in the top of the 7th inning. Seattle has defeated Detroit 7-2. So the Mariners just continue to win. They have won 9 out of their last 10. One rolled foul. So right now, because of that win, the Mariners are the number 2 wild card team.
Yeah.
If the season ended today, Ray. Oh.
There'll be a lot of disappointed people. Maybe some happy people, but some disappointed people.
0-2 to Ramiro Pena. Swing and a miss. Good fastball by Abad, and Pena strikes out. So that's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Make sure you join us tomorrow. Game 2 of this 3-game series. This is a good pitching matchup, folks. Sonny Gray and Julio Teheran. And he's good, and we know how good Sonny Gray is. 3:30 our coverage starts on Comcast Sportsnet California, and then the ball game 4:05 back to the Bay Area. So Gray and Teheran. Sunday's game is the nationally televised Sunday night game, which would be a 8:05 Eastern time start. 5:05 back to the Bay Area.
Yeah, the A's could be arriving in the time that it's going to start. But because of the change from a day game to a night game for the network, as the great Mickey Morbido said, we're scheduled to leave at about 5 p.m. 5:30 p.m. on Sunday local time.
First pitch.
But first pitch will be the 8:05 local. And then the following week on Sunday against the Angels, that game has also been changed from a day to a night game, but that's an earlier start. 5:05, I think, for the network for the East Coast prime time. You see, the game against the Angels, A's can get accustomed to the shadows, because when they play in postseason, that's the time they start, and it's horrible trying to pick up the baseball that time of the night. Although as October comes around, it's not as many shadows.
Hayward pops it up. Norris fires the mask. He's got it. Side retired. Last chance for the A's. A whole lot of work to do as we go to the ninth. They trailed the Braves 7-2.
Very quickly, 3-0 on the Freddie Freeman home run straightaway center. That made it 5-0, and that's the biggest difference in this game because 2-0 may be okay, even 5-2, and Nate Freeman hit his, but then the 2-run shot McGoslin made it 7-2, and that's where we stand now. But Freddie Freeman, they signed him long term for a reason because the young man can play, and he just showed off his great power straightaway center here at Turner Field, 400 feet straight away. That must be nice when you can sign that kind of contract and you know you have a home for a long time.
That would be pretty awesome. Yeah. So James Russell comes in. He's the fourth Braves pitcher. He'll face Donaldson, Norris, and Freeman. Ninth inning. He's down by 5. Russell was a deadline deal acquisition by the Braves. Got him from the Cubs.
He has a father who pitched actually for the A's.
That's right, Jeff Russell.
Rangers acquired by the A's, and
the Braves got Russell and Emilio Bonifacio, the super utility man, who's a pretty good little player. So couple of important parts added to the Braves roster right at the trade deadline. And that was actually deadline day that deal was made.
Maybe it's something about the Cubs and the hair because the A's get Jeff Samardzija. He's got the similar long hair, just like
that's right.
This stylish left-hander who came over from Chicago.
High fastball. Ray, the A's haven't had a hit since the 4th inning.
Yeah, I know.
14 consecutive hitters have been retired, and one of those 14 was a double play.
Well, the last hit turned out to be a bad base running mistake.
It's Callaspo's hit.
Yeah, you're right. And see all those zeros, and A's scored the 2 on the Nate Freeman home run. It's demoralizing, though. You're trading by 3, and you have a pretty good feeling about maybe getting a left-hander, and then that one long ball made it 7-2. That difference, the 2 additional runs, made it a little difficult for the A's.
So Donaldson is retired. Remember, even yesterday, Ray, he's got big help by a missed fly ball in the sun. Helped him score a couple of runs and take the lead momentarily. So here's Norris. Norris has got 2 of the 4 hits for the A's, single and a double. And he drills this one to center, but lots of room out there. B.J. Upton grabs it, 2 outs. And we'll see if Nate Freeman can, if nothing else, break the stretch of 16 consecutive A's hitters retired.
Yeah, you're thinking Jason Vargas on Wednesday night, last 23 retired.
Yeah.
Another lefty, by the way. And the A's will see another lefty on Sunday, following Duran tomorrow.
Curveball drops in their first strike. Freeman, the 2-run homer in the 4th. Fastball off the plate outside. Swing and a miss, breaking ball, and now it's 1-2.
And a big sweeping breaking ball again, into actually a pretty good hitting zone by Freeman, but he missed it.
Two pitch, swing and a miss. He struck him out, and that's the ball game. So the Atlanta Braves used the long ball tonight. They hit 4 home runs and take game 1 of the series. So 30,606 was the attendance tonight. And they see the Atlanta Braves defeat the Oakland A's by a final score of 7-2. You've been watching